everyone, Cheryl here today with Kadoodlebug Designs, and today we're going to be working on the Cutie KaToodles chick. Isn't she just super cute? So in today's piecing, I'm going to show you how I did her egg, and I just love how that turned out. So let's go ahead and get started. I did put her on this little box that I made, and I may end up doing a video on this and possibly just showing how I decorated it because it's super easy to do. So I'm going to set her aside. And so, like always, I try to, if you're new, I try to tell everybody that I do separate the pieces up by what they are. And that way it just makes it easier to find them and know what you've got going on. So we have like the head and the little beak, and then the little top hair and the wings and the body. And then we have the little piece that goes right there. And then we have the egg. And here's our backing piece right there. So I do want to start with the egg first, just so it has time to dry, even though I'm not using a ton of water, because you don't want the paper to get all what would you say, like, you know, all bubbly and stuff. So I just take out, whoops, and I probably have that upside down. I'm just going to grab a little bit of the Perfect Pearls, and I'm just using this one here. I think this is like a white. I don't know. I just thought, oh, I want to try something a little different today. So I'm just going to take out a little bit. You don't need too much. And then, of course, I have my water down here. So I'm just going to take, I usually just take the straw and let a little bit drip on there. Hopefully I did not get that on there. I think I did, darn it. Okay. And I don't need it all mixed in. Let me grab, I have another one because I cut out like 4 of these because I thought, oh, I'm definitely going to use these on some of the little boxes and stuff for some treats. And I think I got this one kind of wet, but I think that'll be okay. Okay. So then I'm just taking an old brush, one that I've actually cut it down, and I'm just going to get it a little bit wet. I don't want this like soaking wet. And then I'm pulling some of that powder aside. So I'm not mixing it up like you typically would do, because I don't want this whole thing soaking wet. Oh gosh, my dog, sorry guys. So I mainly want the powder. There we go. And you can see I'm just going to kind of move that off. So hopefully you can see that. And then just set it aside. So it's not really like, it's not like wet. It'll probably dry by the time we go to put that on there. And then these are definitely more wet than what I wanted. So I actually grabbed way, and then I'm just going to, whoops, way more water than what I really wanted. Hopefully you can see that. I'm going to grab some of I could grab more powder. Okay. And then just get any of that water off. This one is definitely wet, but that's all right. Okay, so just set those aside to dry, and then just take a rag and kind of wipe up the rest. All right, and then of course I'll have to get this in some water. So now what I want to do is I'm going to work with my lightest colors first, and then I'm going to actually do these eyes. I'm not using the dauber. I am using G12. It's a sea green pen, and I'm going to kind of show you with the Copics. I like this because you can kind of come around and get the eye wet, you know, with your blending pen. It doesn't have to be like super soaked, and then just come around this edge, and it kind of bleeds in, and I love the look it does when it does that. Now, if you feel like there's too much, you can always just come in and blend a little bit more. And then, of course, set that aside to dry. And then the same thing on this one. And this probably needs more of the blending solution. I do use this pen a lot. Where's the refill? Oh, there it is. I thought I had 2 of this refill. I'm just going to put some on the edge. And really quick. So I just kind of get that all. And then that way the pen kind of bleeds in. Okay. Whoops. All right, so that's done. And we'll let those dry. Those should be okay. If I have to do anything to them after, I will. So really, there's not a whole lot of colors we're using here. I was going to use this on the edges of the egg, but I think I'm going to leave that. This is that I usually don't have to dip, you know, like run it through here too often because it holds the ink in. But this is that Starlite Silver. It's a pigmented ink, and I absolutely love that, especially on the white. So for the yellow, I'm going to do the Barely Banana. And let's just do a couple drops. And that's going to be quite a bit. And we can always come and take that if we want and get a lot of it off if it's too dark. And then that way we can just come in here. And I'm just kind of dabbing the sides, just kind of like pouncing in, and then kind of pouncing in and pouncing out. It's kind of weird, but you can just kind of play around with it to see what works best for you and how the color comes on for you. If you feel like you need more, you can kind of come in. But let's get all our pieces done. So the head, we definitely see the whole thing on it. So I'm doing the whole thing. And the wings, I'm just going to do most of these wings as well. So this is going to probably be that one. And these are definitely going to, they look much darker. But once they're put together, I like how you can have something like super dark on the edge, and then once it's put together, it doesn't even really look like how dark it is when it's not put together. So I'm going to do the same thing. The body, we're not going to see the bottom, but we are going to see these sides here. So I tend to try to do what I'm going to see. And then for the little piece here, I'm just going to come in. You can even just come in with the marker. And if I was going to use the marker on it, I probably would have used this YR31. It's the Copic. And I don't really need a whole lot of color on that. And then her little hairs for the top. And you'll notice that this paper here is a textured, but when I cut it, I flipped it where the textured was down. That way, when I go to do the face, I can do the chalking and the eyelashes and everything, and they just turn out so much easier, and you can get your strokes on the eyelashes a lot better when the paper is not textured. So on her little beak, I am using, I thought I pulled an orange. Oh, it's right in front of me. Okay. So I did have the orange. I'm using Spiced Marmalade. And I thought I pulled the little dauber pad. I have 2 projects that I'm actually in the middle of doing. And it's under this other one. So I have this one ready for the little beak. And we can kind of put that like so. And we may need to get that in the ink. But I have like all the colors out for this other little guy that I'm going to do a video on. He's super cute. It's a little, the little hedgehog. And let me show you really quick. I'll put this down. And so this is going to be, hopefully you guys can see. So that's going to be the next one I do. This is the Easter hedgehog. Super cute. I love this one. I thought about adding some glitter, but I'm not sure if I'm going to do any of that. Okay. And we'll just get this part done, and then we're ready to put this one together. This one, This one here is really fun to do. Okay. So we're going to grab the, whoops, and I just hit you guys. Okay. So we're going to start with, on this one here, I'm going to start with her wings first on this and get those on. So I'll kind of show you why. So if you look at this one here, I can see the wings are on there first. So I want to do the wings and then that body next. And then I can put the head on. This one doesn't have a whole lot of pieces. I am going to be using the Art Glitter Glue. This is the one that I always use. And we don't need too much glue, because if you start putting a ton of glue, you'll see like sometimes when I put too much glue, it just starts coming out all over the place. And the last thing I want to do is have that on my pieces. And so we'll just get this one. So that should be plenty to hold those in place. I haven't had any of these you know, fall apart or anything. So I think that's pretty good. You can kind of just give them a nice little press down on those. So now for the placement, to make sure, because, sorry, you guys, on this one here, we want to make sure that that head is going to cover what it needs to. So a lot of times I'll just come in and put that body where I think I want it. So on this one here, because the head's going to come about right there, I think. So that one's pretty easy, right? And so we'll just kind of get that placed on there. And it's got the egg below that's going to cover. So we just want to come in here and move. I think it goes right about like so. That should get covered. Okay. And then the little body or the little tummy part is this one right here. And we are going to bring that one down, because on that one you could tell the head's not coming over this. So we do want it down. And I'm going to just give that a nice press. And now if you want to add a little pink, like chalk, we can do that now on the little wings and her little tummy part. And I'm just using Stampin' Up! Chalks, but you can use whatever you have. And I'm going to go with like a real light peachy color. Let's see if I can put that right there. And just kind of go in a little circular. This is very light, so it's probably the lightest pink in this kit. And I'll show you in a minute. It's got some black on it. Let's see if I can flip that. Of course, the black's right next to it, so it just kind of transfers over. Let's see. Okay, so this is the color I'm using. It's right here. So it looks kind of peachy, right? If you're not sure on a color, you could always do it on the same paper and see. And then I just want a little bit on that tummy. You're not going to really see that, but okay. And then I'm going to set this aside. I kind of have ink pads and stuff kind of all over right now. There we go. All right. So we have the body and the wings on. And so now I want to come in and put her head on here. And that looks probably good. And hopefully I don't have stuff all over. You can just kind of press that down. If you have one of your little smoothing tools, you could always use that for the bigger pieces. And so now we have her head on, and then I'm not going to add this hair or the egg to the top yet, because I want to do her eyes. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the placement on where I want her little beak. And so I do want it right there. And we know on this one, her eyes are kind of tucked in. And so I'm going to just add some glue right to, hopefully you can see, just right to the bottom. And I'm going to kind of, I'm not going to press this down. So that's why I'm not really using this tool. I just want to get it moved into the place. And I'm thinking right there looks good. So I'm going to add where her eyes are going to go. And one's there. And one's there. And now the tool I have a lot of people asking me. I do, in my description box, I do link for you guys to find the tool. It's a Viker. I'm not affiliated with them, so... But I do love this little tool. You get 2 of them in a little case. Let me get these eyes. Sorry, you guys. Concentration. Okay. So I think I've got them about where I want them. And it's pushed a lot of the glue in there. So I'm using the one end of this to kind of grab that glue and get it out. So it does come in this little case. And so it's called the Viker, and you get like the little wax pieces that go on the end. I've been using this forever, so I haven't. And then you get another one, and then the little tweezers. And it just comes in that little case for under $10. When I bought it, it was under 10. So I'm not sure what it is right now. But so I think her eyes look good. So we're going to go ahead and place the blue or the greenish color on. So I'm just going to add that. And then that one. Now you could have these further away or close. It's really, I think it's really a preference. So whatever you like is what you'll do. And you'll find over time that you'll find what you like best. I don't really think there's a wrong way to do these, but I could tell that's kind of on an angle. I'm going to have to clean it up. I use it so much. Okay. So I think those look good. So on her eyes, I did some shadowing and I used some yellow. I used a little bit of black and I used some brown in there as well. Sorry, you guys, my voice is going again. So this time I'm using I haven't used this in a long time. It was in my drawer. I don't even remember. It's a flat shader. I don't even remember, but it does pick up the color really well on the chalk. So I'm going to come in and you'll see how well it just brings that color like super... And then I blow it. You could you may not see that in the video, but it all does come together. So I'm just going to do some shading around the eye with the yellow since she's yellow. And I like how this one just puts down. I honestly don't even remember where I got this. It's been so many years. I've probably had this forever. Okay, so I did that, and then I'm just going to kind of wipe it on this rag that I keep in here, and I'm going to come in with a very light brown. This one's not my typical brown that I use. It's lighter, and I'm just going to come and come in here. It maybe need to be loaded again. Let's see. A lot of times I'll blow the brush off because it puts a lot of extra, as you can see. And you can kind of do a circular, and hopefully you could see that. I wonder if I should zoom in a little. Let me see without. Okay, so you can kind of just take the brush in a circular motion if you want. Okay. And then now I'm going to just do the eyelashes. So, and then I'll come back in and clean it up. This is going to be really hard for me because I'm used to being like super close. So the first thing I'm going to do is I flip it upside down, and I want to come and put my liner, and this is a 005 pin, so it's really fine. And we can get like really close in, so we're not like super thick on the liner. You can almost barely see that, so you can always come back in. And once we do the lashes, we'll fix it up and tie everything kind of together. So it's easier if you can see the edge when you're putting on the liner. There's been times even in the videos when I've put the liner on and it's like all up on the eye and whatnot, because I can't, I feel like I'm far away, because when I do them, I'm literally like right over this, you know, where the camera would be. So all you'd see is a bunch of hair. Okay, so we've got that part on, right? And so on the lashes, what I try to do, and hopefully you guys are going to see this, but I'm going to come up here with the short one, and I'm kind of curling them and pushing out. And these are going to be darker because I ended up having to come in, because sometimes my strokes are very light and feathered, you know, out. And so sometimes you don't even see, you know, they're just so soft. And so I think that's okay. And you could always do another one down. And for some reason, I like to come over on this side and get these. And then I'll come back up, and hopefully I'm still in camera. And I want to see if that matches up. You can do them all the same length. You can do them several different lengths. It's really whatever you like. I kind of just go with the flow, and whatever ends up, it ends up. And then if I want more or less, I come in and do it. So right now we've got her little lashes on. So she's got her little lashes. So now we're going to come in and do some more shading, but I'm going to use this one here, the eighth inch, the slanted one. And I am going to come in with a brown. And kind of work my way up. And you can do as much or as little as you like. This is the fun part, I think. I mean, it's all fun, but I think I just really enjoy. So now I'm bringing in almost a sunflower yellow. It's a little bit darker than that other one, because now that the lashes are on, I want some more shading with yellow, because now you can really see where the lashes are, so we can kind of just come in and kind of fill them in. And then, so I've got that one. Let me go back to the brown, and then I'm going to bring in a little black, because I like to bring the black in this corner. Okay, and I just kind of blew that off and kind of pass that out. And you could always come down here a little bit. And this one actually would work better for that. Let me do this one. Oh, yeah. See, that works so much better. Some of the brushes. Okay. And then now I want the black. So I'm going to try this one. This may bring too much black, but we'll see. Because this one seems to hold the color a little and apply it a little differently than the other one. Okay. So if you want the liner thicker, then now is the time to come and do that. And so sometimes I'll really kind of fill it in down here. And then you can come back in with the chalks and get it to soften up a little bit. Because right now it looks, let's see. So I'm going to do the brown. And then I'm going to come in with the black. Okay, I think that's probably good enough. Let's try one more. Yeah, that's pretty good. And if you get too much, just take the eraser or any little eraser like your crafting one and you can erase off. Okay, so I think her eyes look good. So now we just need to do her cheeks. And her cheeks, I'm going to start out really light. So I'm using the one above that peachy color. So this is a little darker. Oops. Than the peach. And then I'm going to come in with a pink that's a little bit darker than that. For right here. And then we want to go, I'm going to wipe that off. And then come back with that light. And I think that's fine. Okay. And then let's go ahead and get her eyes. And we want to get the other part of her little beak on. I didn't even see that till just now. I don't know why I left that off, but okay, so that's on. And then we can add a few dots. And then you could do the line up here. I kind of just went down here. It's not a biggie. And then we're going to just add some little dots to the wings. Okay. And so we're ready to add our last pieces and then we're done. And so I'm going to add up here first. I want to go ahead and add the piece that goes. So there is a little marking for us to place, which is nice because it helps to know where to place that. And then you can just kind of press that down. And then same with the egg. So this is definitely ready to go on. I love the look of the perfect pearls. If you don't have perfect pearls, you could probably use some kind of shimmer paints or whatnot, but I love just the look that it gives. Now if you want that edge done up, you could always come in with your dauber like just like that and get that done. It'll just kind of do the edge for you. And then up here I'll just do the top. Okay, and then we'll just add the egg to the bottom and then her feet and we're done. And then, yeah, so you could kind of see right there. There's a mark. You can kind of see it right above the foot. So that's kind of your placement. And then you'll go with the placement down at the bottom for that. And then just kind of push that down really good. So her little feet, I didn't ink those up. Oh, the orange. So I'm just going to do those like super quick. And I'm just using that same dauber with the, I think it was spiced marmalade. And I think those are ready. You could do them darker. If you want, I'm just going to do them how I have them. And then just kind of get that placed where it's, whoops, covering all that up. She's super cute. I love the little Easter ones. They're so cute. Whoops. Okay. And I think that's done. And then I'm just going to add the little markings. I kind of did some little ones up here. You could do a dot there, kind of come up. And I think that's it. And I think she's good. Isn't she cute? And so I do hope you enjoyed my video today. And if you did, please give me a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more videos, please follow. And thank you for stopping by. Have a good day.